Hello and welcome, peasants, fans, nemeses, and bewildered bystanders to Talking is a Free Action. As you all know by now, my name is the Fae, and I represent the Question Masters. As you must know by now, we are the multiverse's omniscient higher beings, insatiable in our quest for knowledge. And so as a completely rational part of that, we kidnap people from the material plane. I hope you will join me in welcoming a new guest to my Villa of Veracity, the mortal known as Wesley. Now, Wesley, dear, we're just going to chat and maybe try a few challenges, and I just want to find out what's in that lovely head of yours. Now, I also have a suspicion that this lovely Wesley is one of a few people across the material plane connected to a higher being known as Joe. And so hopefully through navigating my nightmarish, delightful dungeons, rooms, we will get to speak to this Joe as well. So, Wesley, my love, are you ready to be challenged?
Absolutely.
Is that it? No begging, pleading for your life, goodness, what is this happening? Existential questions about your soul.
Was that what you were expecting?
Well, the last one.
I can do that very well if you need, but honestly, it's been a bit of a busy evening already.
This is a relief. The last one, he was, well, one can only describe him as a puppet, and he just sort of looked very defeated and started making bargains with the different voices in his head, and it was all just a little...
That does sound concerning.
Bad, really.
Well, I'll try and avoid that.
Oh, good. I do like it when you're more fun. Anyway, before we begin your trials, I have been provided with some important people to thank. It turns out we have, again, for unknown reasons, been generously sponsored by the entities known as Hero Forge, Ultra Pro, Alchemy RPG, and Phoenix Dice, and then supported by the wonderful Idol champions Neverwinter and Elderwood Academy. And if we had hearts, we would have a particular place for them for our audience members known as the D20 Club, our lovely dice heads. They've perpetually earned a place in our good books, and if you want to be wise and stay on my good side, you can join them by supporting us on Patreon. If you can't join us here right now in the Villa of Veracity, why? But I suppose you could always listen on your favourite podcasting app by searching for Roll Together RPG, and if you did want to engage with us further in a digital social fashion, you can find us under most social media locations with the same tag, Roll Together RPG. Now that's quite enough admin. Wesley, over the next 55 minutes or so, you will traverse my villa, explore all my lovely little challenges, and remember, talking is a free action. At any point, if you decide you can't possibly cope with the teensy-weensy tiny little challenges I'm throwing at you, you can always remember that talking is a free action and choose to introduce me to this Joe and have a conversation and share some of that delicious knowledge in your head. And at the end of this hour, I'm not allowed to keep you unless you are great fun or very unfortunate, and you will be safely returned to whatever sad corner of the material plane I plucked you from. Does that all make sense?
It's quite a nice boat, really. Looking forward to getting back to it.
Really? Do you know what's wrong with my villa?
No, nothing. Just, wouldn't want to stay here.
Why?
It's not a boat. There's all sorts of exciting stuff going on back home. Looking forward to getting back to it.
It could be a boat.
You did say it would only take 50 minutes.
I said 55. You weren't listening.
Close enough.
It could be a boat. It could be a boat if I wanted it to be a boat.
I'm sure it could, but it's not right now.
Well, that's what you think. Go through that door.
As you wish.
The door in front of you are in this foyer, and the Fae has just flounced out the door in front of you. Could you roll me such thing as a D100 if you have it about your person?
I can manage that.
That's good.
77.
77? That's all the way down here. Ooh. You see in front of you a door in the wall that is solid wood, a few carvings, but they seem more decorative than arcane, and a nice sturdy looking brass ring handle. Would you like to go through the door?
Absolutely.
Good. You see a dark doorway. Do you step in?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Excellent. As soon as you set foot into the room, there is a whoosh and you rise up. Now you are in a net, dangling from the ceiling, and below you, you can hear chittering.
Interesting.
Yes, I thought so.
Reach for a little bit of storm energy. Just let some lightning crackle along my fingertips. Just light things up a bit, see what I can see.
Looking around you, you can see you are dangling from the ceiling, but you're still not. It's a low ceiling, and you're dangling quite a long way down, so you're only a few feet off the floor. Around you, there are flashes of small, furry movement, and before too long, several of them dart properly into the light. They are small, fuzzy creatures. They have very cute little hoods. They would be really quite endearing if it wasn't for the very large hooked spears they have in their hand, and the rather suspiciously looking campfire they are starting to create directly underneath you.
Interesting. Do I see any exits from this area other than the door I came in through?
How generous am I feeling? Yes, you do. Across the ceiling, dangling, set across the room from you, but still in the ceiling from your dangling position, you can in fact see what looks rather a lot like a trapdoor.
Good to know. I think this is possibly the first time I've used it, but I will go fishing in the pockets of my coat, pull out a long...
You are quite wrapped up in a net. How precisely are you going to reach into the pockets of your coat?
I'll attempt to reach into the pockets of my coat.
Is there anything you would like to do to aid your contortions?
I mean, I'll give it a go. If it's not working, I will just use Mage Hand to get the dagger for me.
Okay. Well, that's boring, so let's assume you can reach the dagger.
Great. And then, see if I can cut my way out of this net.
Let's see. How good are you with a dagger, Wesley?
I mean, not spectacular, but I know one end from the other.
That'll do. Well, yeah, I rolled the net a 2, so it's
nice.
Really not very well made, and it does incredibly quickly with just a few... Do you saw it with your dagger? Do you try and hold it and cut?
Yeah, just sawing enough of a gap to get out of.
With a few brief sawing motions, the net unravels remarkably shoddily and drops you rather ungainlily. How dexterous are you, Wesley?
Approximately 14 dexterous.
Okay, do you have a d20 about your person?
I do.
You want to roll it for me? Don't add anything, just tell me what you get.
6.
You have a very nice red leather coat on, don't you?
I do.
That's now somewhat singed, as
That's
you
unfortunate.
did rather land on top of the newly lit campfire.
Yeah, I figured that was a risk. Great. I will stand up, brush myself off a little bit, click my heels together, and take off into the air.
And your ruby slippers take you all the way home?
Up to the trapdoor, at least.
What is special about your heels?
They're winged boots, specifically.
This is good to know, just checking. Wasn't... Interesting. The small, very cute, hooded, hooked, speared entities don't seem to want to let you go, and they do grab onto you. I think you don't have to worry so much about their strength. They are very small, but they are so cute. Do you, Wesley, have the hardness of heart to pull yourselves away from the incredibly adorable small fluffy things that maybe want to cook and eat you?
I will once more just let a little bit of lightning crackle along my fingertips, just as a back off.
Very nice. They look very cross, but they don't have the ability to hold on to you, and you manage to resist their adorable cannibalistic wiles and fly your way up to the trapdoor.
Yeah, before going through it, I will take a few moments, just, mending, prestidigitation, clean my coat up, and then continue.
You hear from next to you, you could have sworn you were not... You're on your own in the air up here, but from right next to you, you hear the Fae's voice go, it does magically reset every room that you go into, but it's good to know you're a dandy.
Well, have to look stylish while going through a Villa of Veracity, surely.
Well, it's not a boat, so I didn't know you cared.
Maybe a little.
Better. Would you like to go through the trapdoor? Or would you like to attempt to go through the trapdoor?
I'll attempt to go through.
Are you at all strong, Wesley?
I'm really not, no.
Interesting, because it is a push up. Do you have anything to aid your pushing a very thin sheet of wood a couple of inches up in the air?
Yeah, I will cast Enlarge on myself.
Ooh. Very nice. I didn't tell you how big the trapdoor was. But Wesley's not a very large man, is he?
No, indeed not. I could always, get it open, shrink myself again. Things are going to reset anyway.
Let us draw a veil over the precise dimensions and upper body strength required, and suffice it to say that you do, in fact, get the trapdoor lifted and get yourself pulled up and through.
We're having great fun in the with Malagak, who is a bugbear and thus can fit into any small space, but occasionally is enlarged by either himself or me, or sometimes both, meaning he is a huge creature fitting into a small box. It's a beautiful thing.
I very much enjoyed in the first episode you asking if you wanted a larger stage presence. And then go, well, there you are bigger. But yes, large creature, small box is delightful. However, you don't escape that easily by distracting me with interesting facts about the campaign. Would you like to roll me another D100?
Absolutely.
Correct.
26.
Ooh, we're down back this end. 26. Ooh. Oh dear. Oh, Wesley. You pull yourself out of this trapdoor and then suddenly blink because you were sure you were inside a villa and it was all a bit dark and foreboding and there was far too many mirrors just everywhere. But suddenly you are on a street, quite a bustling, cheerful market street. You appear to have maybe pulled yourself out of a manhole cover, but don't you worry, there is no... After your prestidigitating and mending, there is no lingering sewage anywhere. There is a cart just up ahead of you, selling the best ice creams you have ever seen in your life. They're delicious. You are sure in your soul that there is no catch with this. Would you like an ice cream?
Absolutely. I will definitely go and buy, yeah.
What flavour would you like?
Honeycomb.
Honeycomb. The very cheerful looking ice cream vendor hands you an enormous honeycomb ice cream that is about as big as your head. And, cinder toffee over the top. It is magnificent. And for some reason, doesn't seem to expect any payment whatsoever. It's almost like they were just setting up a plot device. And you turn and wend your merry way along this marketplace when your beautiful, wonderful ice cream, the best ice cream you've ever seen in the world, the most wonderful ice cream that you were so excited to have to reward you from your very terrible experience of nearly being barbecued, is whipped out of your hand and it's gone.
Any indication of who or what whipped it out of my hand?
Yes. Standing 7 feet away from you is a very sweet, small gnome child. For the sake of no reason at all, let's assume she has fun buns. The ice cream is about as big as her arm, and she is holding it and laughing at you.
I mean, if you wanted ice cream, there's a cart just back there which is seemingly giving them away for free.
I wanted this one. It's mine now.
I will cast Mage Hand and attempt to take it back.
But it's my ice cream! Can you just roll me a d20?
Sure. 6 again.
Well, that's lower than me. This small child seems to have some kind, who knows how, why in this random setting, have control over fire. And a small waxy figure suddenly blocks your mage hand and pins it to the ground like one would thing in the Addams family. That was mean.
So it's taking somebody's ice cream.
But I wanted it. It looked really nice, and it's my ice cream now, and you tried to take my ice cream, which you just said was mean.
I wanted it, and it looked really nice.
Well, I'm clearly better than you at taking ice cream, so it's mine now.
Valid. Valid. Don't suppose you care to share it?
No. Because right now I have one whole ice cream. And if I shared it, I would only have half an ice cream. And if I said I shared it and gave it to you, you might just take it back and run away because your legs are longer than mine.
It's plausible. I wasn't planning on it, but now that you've suggested it, it does sound like a good plan.
Your coat makes it look like you were mean, and so I think you would do mean things like steal a small child's ice cream.
I think it's a very nice coat.
Yeah, but it suggests that you think you're great.
I am, though.
Yeah, it's my ice cream. You can be great, but I have an ice cream. Bye.
Are you quite sure you don't want to share it?
Yeah.
I'll cast suggestion on her.
She does have an extraordinarily high wisdom, this character I've just plucked from nowhere. You did magic. That's mean.
So did you. It's not mean in and of itself.
I didn't do magic. I just suggested that my friend wanted to... Why do you want this ice
So
cream?
you're putting your friend in the position of having to do mean things for you?
No, he likes to. Why do you deserve this ice cream?
No, I'm not suggesting I do. I just said I wanted it.
But I deserve this ice cream.
Do
If you can tell me why I should share it with you, because I've had quite a difficult day accidentally breaking things and getting told off. So I want an ice cream to feel better. And if you also want an ice cream to feel better, then maybe I could give it back or we could share it. But if you just want it because you think you're great and life is great, then you should get ice cream. Then I think I should have your ice cream.
Well, I mean, that has been a rather difficult day, and I did just nearly get burned to death and then eaten.
What happened
So I was looking forward to the ice cream.
What happened in your difficult day?
Oh, you know, the usual. Was having a very nice voyage, was on a boat, and then there were slime monsters everywhere trying to attack us.
Oh.
It was a little problematic.
I got attacked by monsters on a boat once. Someone died.
That's unfortunate.
Did any of you die?
No, we all stayed alive.
You must be better at fighting than me.
Plausible.
Oh. Would you teach me some of your fighting if I gave you your ice cream back?
Sure, that sounds like a good deal.
Will you really, though? Do you promise?
Yes.
She looks at you. She then sticks out her tongue and takes a huge lick from the top and goes, "It's called tax," and then gives it back.
Nice. So, what do you want to learn?
What skills do you have that you could offer to teach this young, nameless gnome child?
Given that she... Can you teleport?
If my friend holds on to me, then he can jump us a few feet. but not very far and not very often.
Interesting. How about other people? Can you teleport them? Or is that again a thing your friend does?
My friend does it.
I see. Would you like to learn another way? Or I can offer you something else if you'd rather.
No, another way's good, because my friend can get tired and then not come out again for the rest of the day.
Cool. This is a fun one. What's the scenery like? You said we're in a market.
Yeah, let's imagine yourself your absolute ye olde medieval town market. So cobbled streets. This isn't real medieval, but you know what BBC One drama thinks medieval looks like.
Naturally.
So cobbled streets, big high-wheeled carts being pulled along laden with produce, cheerfully striped tents with those little long flags on top, and obviously impossibly long and thin trumpets being played from high castle walls.
Nice.
We're in BBC One's Robin Hood.
Amazing. Yeah, I will find an awning or something that's not too high off the ground, and cast Vortex Warp to teleport this mysterious gnome child, whose name I definitely don't know, up to the top of it.
What does it look like, your Vortex Warp?
Once again, the lightning will just crackle down the fingertips and then just start swirling in this disc of energy at Gnome Child's feet, which will then open up and she will just drop through it and land on top of this awning in once more a little bit of a burst of energy.
That was so exciting because I was falling down, but then I went up and now I'm up here. That's so... Oh, how do you do that?
I will endeavour to teach her how to cast it.
Despite Wesley's best efforts, she's maybe a little too excited by falling through the floor and
Fair.
ice cream. And she definitely grasps a little.
Great.
There is a better understanding of how your magic might be different from hers, and some more spatial awareness than she had before.
That's fun.
Sadly, she has not gained a level in sorcerer by the end.
It's probably a good thing, all things considered.
I am sad about it. Brilliant. You do your very best teaching. You set your happy, tired pupil on her way.
I reckon so.
What do you do?
Finish the ice cream for starters. And have a wander through the market, see what I find.
It would be so nice if you were able to finish your ice cream. But as you sit and as it gets closer and closer, suddenly you are back in the Fae's foyer and she looks disgusted. I don't know. Last time I get a sobbing, whimpering mess with a sad childhood, and now you're playing with children?
Well, she seemed to be having a good time. I at least got some of the ice cream out of it, so
She's so
seems like a win-win.
cheerful and hopeful and kind. I was really looking forward to seeing you blast her into a million pieces with your lightning. You've disappointed me.
Yes, I tend not to do that unless I've got a reason to.
Oh, not good enough. I don't want to talk to you for a while. I think I want to talk to your higher being, and hopefully he will be a lot more bloodthirsty and horrible than you. Hi, Joe.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Are you having fun?
Always.
This is good. Yes, I am pleased. This for those who do not know you, because you're relatively new to roll together, which is very exciting. Who are you? What are you doing here? Why?
Hello. I'm Joe. I enjoy playing D&D. And so I am doing some of that. Were you expecting more than that?
Not really, to be honest.
I'll take it.
So you're currently playing Wesley in a distorted revelation. We're
Indeed.
halfway through at the moment. How is that? Because you've done a couple of one-shots for together. This is your first slightly longer campaign. How are you finding?
I have. It's a lot of fun. It's nice to be able to play with a character that has a little bit more depth than a chaotic mess of nonsense thrown together for a one-shot.
What are you saying?
All my characters for your one-shots were perfectly fleshed out with incredibly long backstories and motivations behind everything they were doing.
Thank you. When I put together one-shots, I demand the highest of artistic integrity, seriousness, and method.
I'm sure. That's why I was pretending to be a centaur around the house for 2 weeks.
That's what you were doing. I got ever so confused.
So was it not obvious? I thought
Well, you had an extra set of legs. Yeah. A set of coconut shells everywhere we went.
I was having a great time.
Yes, you were. So Wesley is a little more fleshed out, you say, than your slightly silly one-shot characters. That sounds intriguing. Are there things we do not yet know about him that we would like to know?
I mean, there's a few that people are starting to pick up on. The party have some high insight rolls, so they've been having fun with that. We'll see how long Wesley manages to hold on to any of his secrets.
Yeah, because we know you have a mark and we don't know why, and I want to know and you won't tell me, which is really unfair of you.
Pretty much.
How is it playing a streamed campaign versus, because you've played home campaigns for many, many years now? What's different? What's the same?
I mean, I think the big thing is, with no disrespect to any of the many wonderful people I have played home games with over the years, it's just kind of consistently all 3 games now that I've played on Roll Together have just been a really, really good cast of people who are know what they're doing and are really excited about coming together and telling a great story, and are all bringing their own, unique and brilliant things to that. And it's just really fun to be a part of. I think kind of the shift of view from, we're just messing around and having a fun in a home game to we're trying to create something performance worthy here does just mean that everyone, takes it up a notch, and it's pretty great to be a part of.
Fair. I think it's safe to say we have played separately and together in some excellent home games.
Indeed.
But yes, you're right. If there is a camera on, then suddenly they're like, I'm just going to play on my phone for half an hour because less of an option.
Yep.
This is not in any way to say that all stream games are better than all home games, or that our stream games are better than your home games. Just, yes, streaming is an extra dimension that is really fun if you get to do it.
Indeed.
I could just talk to you for a very long time. Weirdly, I don't know why we have stuff to talk about, Joe, and we barely know each other. But
not at all.
I should probably roll the dice. Now, you've got all the fun of rolling the D100 so far, so I want to this time. Ooh, and we are up here with a 60. Now, this is a Tom question, which I'm going to ask out of respect for the system and the dice rolls.
And for Tom?
No respect for Tom. No, I have Tom is wonderful, but I have no respect for him for this question. So good luck. Joseph, who watches the Watchmen?
The Watchmen watchers.
Who are the Watchmen watchers?
It's a great question. Maybe we'll meet them at some point. They feel like the sort of thing that would come up in a reasonably obscure D&D campaign.
They're probably gate crashers.
Probably. Sounds plausible.
Who watches the gate crash? Who crashes the gate?
Who made the gate?
Shall I roll again?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you, Tom. We love you. I could be horribly maligning him, and it actually was a Nat question, but I am really quite confident it was a Tom question. Oh, this was a 42. Joe, if all of your characters had to fight each other, who would win?
We're talking just roll together characters? Oh.
Given you have one actually optimized character and 2 ridiculous D&D one-shot characters, as long as you can tell us about them in enough detail to be interesting, rather than just, this home game character, full stop.
Sure.
Then, knock yourself out.
I mean, firstly, an honourable mention does have to be put in for Rudolph. There is a non-negligible chance that just summoning 8 reindeer would be enough to carry the fight. But...
Oh, beautiful. Rudolph the Thread-Nosed and his reindeer.
Absolutely.
Then turned into 8 reindeer.
It was great. It
was wonderful. And you weren't that high level. You were level 8.
8 or 9, so yeah. Not atrocious, but...
But yes, it was gorgeous. Okay, so Rudolph could whisk us all away with Christmassy magic. Yeah, have anyone who could be
actual winner was one of the earlier characters I played. Sort of my main character went on hiatus for a few weeks, and so I briefly cameoed as who was a Gith Yankee psionic monk. This was fairly early on in my D&D life, where I sort of just discovered the joys of min-maxing, and it was about the most disgustingly over-optimized character I have ever or will ever build. Wiped the floor with literally everything the DM threw at us for about 3 sessions. And then by that stage, I was a bit bored, and probably so was everyone else, to be fair. So that character went away and has never come back.
Tell us everything about them that you remember about the min-maxing. What made them so ridiculously great?
I mean, they were pretty commonly running around with an AC of over 30.
How? As a monk?
Yeah, a monk with some other stuff going on. There was, and we're just, I mean, as most monks are, to be fair, capable of dealing a lot of damage, but
monks are great.
They're a lot of fun.
Amazing. What level were you?
Not that high.
Yeah.
8 or 9.
I love playing in a high-level party, but yeah, if you protagonist too hard because your character's just optimized better than everyone else's, it can get a bit rubbish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the rest of the time I was playing a very silly character in much more of a supporting role, which was a lot more fun.
It is fun to be able to pop out and smash things sometimes, though. I do like this because I always roll so annoyingly well with stats. I do like the idea of dumping 1. Chris is very keen that it's always so much more fun to play if you have a weakness, if you have a flaw. They obviously never insist on it because that would be mean, but I think they're completely right that getting to be so bad at one of the key stats in a way that you find entertaining and won't just make you really frustrated the whole game is very good. Min-maxing, because you started with computer games before you ever played D&D, right?
Yes, yeah, very much so. I guess more kind of through board games than computer games, but one of sort of the group of people who, we regularly hung out and played board games together, suggested that we try D&D, and everybody really liked it. And with that group of people, it, did start off. And it was not that dissimilar from a board game with, much more focus on the sort of strategy and mathematics and, gamified elements of it. Which, is one of the nice things about getting to play with a different bunch of people and spending a lot more focus on the role-playing side.
Yes, some of us aren't mathematicians. It's very exciting. Fair. Do you think it's a different introduction to the game, having come from the board game, computer gaming kind of optimizing side, rather than my introduction, which was I run around and do silly voices and tell stories, and I can do that with some maths now. Obviously, they are very different. Do you think it affects how you see the game, how you play the game? Does it matter?
I don't think it matters too much. And I guess one of the things that, first captured my interest was that, it wasn't just a board game where, you roll some dice and add some numbers up and do some thinking. Like, it is so much more than that. It was always, kind of straight away, I think the closest analogy was, the imaginative games you play as a child. Yeah. It's a way of rediscovering the fun and joy of those as an adult. But with some boundaries in place to make sure you're not just spouting complete nonsense all the time. I guess if you asked me certainly now what D&D was, I'd always start talking about it from that perspective rather than trying to introduce it as a board game. There's one of the kids, which you will know well at our youth group, keeps trying to compare various board games we played to Dungeons and Dragons, and it's always like a yes, but also no in so many ways.
Oh, you're missing the point so badly. But said kid loves both board games and D&D.
Absolutely,
very much.
It's great.
So, yes. I was chatting to another teenager just yesterday who was telling me that they've started playing D&D in their English, their year 10 English class. No, year 9 English class. As a way to start really detailed imagining settings and characters and scenarios and all that kind of thing. The teacher apparently loves D&D and basically went, you have to get this bit of treasure, but got all of them to creatively decide what was in the room and how they solved it. And this particular young person was telling me, well, I was the one with the light orb, so I got pushed in first and then a trap went off. It's brilliant that, yes. But yes, I've heard it argued for very persuasively in classrooms in maths and English lessons. So
yeah, no, it's absolutely. I think in that particular context, like such a great way into the ideas of creative writing and being able to take your imagination and get that down in some format that other people can engage with and enjoy. It's good.
He's great. So not Wesley. Wesley would not win.
No, he wouldn't. I'm sure he'd be very confident, but no.
Compared to your Midsummer Night's Dream character, who definitely wasn't Bottom the Weaver.
William.
All the way up to bless you. Where does Wesley fit?
Pretty low down. He'd beat William, possibly not any others.
But he can do lightning and stuff, and he has a great...
Yeah. I mean... Yeah. No.
So if not brawling, what are Wesley's key strengths?
I mean, he's built quite a lot around, I guess, two aspects. One is the kind of high seas, middle of a storm, flying around and throwing lightning around.
Oh, sorry, are you on a boat?
Yeah, maybe. Might have mentioned something about it. And the other one is the much more stealthy, let's creep around invisibly and throw subtle spells around and be very sneaky about things. And kind of the two coming together is a nice balance. He's a lot of fun for what he is built for, but yes, by no means necessarily able to hold his own particularly well in a fight with.
So if we caveated the question and said who would win in a fight in the air, at sea, in a storm, then it might be Wesley?
Still not Wesley.
What you're saying is Wesley is naff.
Yeah, but he's a lot of fun.
He's a lot of fun and he tries very hard.
Does he? Is that true?
No. This is the point where I would normally throw you back into Villa of Veracity, but as you are new and this is the first time we've ever had to interview you, do you mind if I ask you another question?
Go for it.
I will roll that dice. Oh no, I've turned into that person.
Good job.
Great. Again, this is going to really speak to the core of your soul, Joe.
Is it?
It's very emotional and difficult.
Yep.
What is your favourite snack?
Bacon. No, not bacon.
Why not bacon?
Most things chocolate-based, to be honest. You're pretty good. I was nibbling on some matchmakers through one of the ones we filmed earlier. They were great.
Nice. You do make the best millionaire shortbread anyone has ever made. Bold
Also
claim,
a very good option.
but I stand by it.
Thanks.
Cool. Again, I'm going to roll again because again that was.
Do you not feel that satisfied you?
I just feel underwhelmed, Joe, by your conversation.
Gee, thanks.
This is one of our old questions, which is great because we haven't had you on before, so I can ask you this. What is your favourite character class?
Bard. Any day of the week. Yeah.
Not a wizard.
I mean...
Because you are a real-life wizard.
Wizard is a very close second, but yeah, the whole idea of Bards just being, a character who strolls around and wins battles through stories and songs and talking to people is so much fun and is, sufficiently distinct from what I do in day-to-day life to be, to have the wonderful fantasy element as well. Like mechanically, I'm a big fan of their versatility. You can play them in so many different ways and that's a lot of fun. But just as a concept and somebody strolling around with a lute being able to hold their own with all these wizards and sorcerers and monks and everything is just pretty spectacular.
That is very cool. How often do you play bards? Do you have several? Do you have a favourite? I
have a favourite. I have, yes. Probably my definitely my favourite all-time D&D character, as a halfling bard named Finbar Westwillow, who you have met a couple of times in various campaigns.
He has a very silly hat.
He has a very silly hat, and is a lot of fun to play, and yes, is by no means, the protagonisty frontliner, but has a whole bunch of tricks up his sleeve and just a generally great approach to life, the universe, and everything. I played him in a couple of home games at various different points. He's made cameos in others when I've been DMing. I'm not playing him at the moment. It's very upsetting.
Have to remedy that.
Absolutely. And then, I think that's, other than William in the one shot, I think he is the only bard I've ever played. Because I would struggle to make another one without being like, this is just less good than Finbar.
Yeah,
but maybe at some point.
The problem when you make a character that you very much love. Is Finbar a law bard?
Yes, yeah.
They are kind of the best. Yeah. Like, there are many things to be said for many of the other types of bard, but law bards are just so good.
Yeah, we'll see. If I keep playing with, keep playing for long enough, I'm sure I'll come up with some others at some point. But...
And you have a bard in your current party, don't you, Orica? And am I right that she, rather than doing the more traditional singing, she makes tapestries of things? Was that correct?
Great question. Yes, she has. Yeah, she has been theming her magic around lots of weaving things and balls of string and lots of fun imagery with that. Liz is doing a great job of playing her. It's been a lot of fun.
This makes me so happy because when Lola joined Roll Together a while ago now, I had the privilege of interviewing them on Talk Together, and they were talking about bards and how great they were. And they have an amazing business and artist creation thing. I don't understand. I can't, create things with my hand to save my life, but using yarn and knitting and all that kind of thing. And they were talking about if they could create any type of character, it would be a yarn bard, and kind of went, gosh, that's awesome, and never thought about it again. And then suddenly to have tuned into the start of Distorted Revelation, and there is Liz playing a yarn bard. Oh, it's very nice to see. I hope Lola is watching and enjoying. But yeah,
she is also doing a lot of music. It's not a one-trick pony yarning, but yes, it's been adding a fun twist to it.
Yes. Liz is a player. They always find a way to surprise and amaze. It is great fun to watch.
They are great.
But yes, that whole party is great fun. I could just sit here rhapsodizing about how great we all are, but probably should it's time back into the Villa of Veracity. Wesley, you are falling. You are just falling. And I'll tell you what kind of space you are falling through if you roll me a D100, please.
72 this time.
72. We are bouncing around the 70s quite a lot. Did you borrow my dice? I like this one. You fall through a beautiful bright blue sky with fluffy clouds, a gentle breeze, and then you land with a bump. Your fall is broken by a rather large cowpat. You feel that maybe the Fae is still annoyed with you for, being a fundamentally decent human being and not hurting a child. You're in a field.
Okay. I will clean the cowpat off, first things first. Look around and then... So, you just wanted me to be in a field for a bit, or is there something I'm meant to be doing here?
Something catches your eye, just over your shoulder, but not too far away. It looks like a sort of chalkboard easel up in the field, maybe with some very gold swirly writing on it.
I'll have a wander over.
It eats you. No. As you get close enough to read it, it says in overly embellished handwriting. There are 30 cows in a field and 28 chickens. How many didn't?
Ten?
I don't think anyone has got this riddle before. For the viewers at home,
Really?
Wesley, could you please explain to me why this was the correct answer?
If 20 of the cows performed the action of eating a chicken, then 10 of them did not do that. Therefore, 10 did not.
It's such a silly room. And also, now you have solved it, I can swap this riddle out for a different one.
Amazing.
Which also pleases...
Sorry, if I know that was a difficult riddle, I would have made Wesley fail to answer it, because he's not particularly intelligent, but...
I think it's like all riddles. They're difficult when you can't work them out.
Fair.
And if you can see them or you've heard them before, they're the easiest thing in the world. Amazing. You hear a very begrudging sort of, oh, well done.
Thank you. I aim to impress.
You were sure it was an easel, but now it seems to be a chalkboard door suspended in space. Would you like to go through it?
I'll have a look through this time, just to check I'm not stepping into any cowpats or campfires.
Why don't you roll me a D100 and I'll tell you.
We're back down to the 20s. That is a 20 flat.
It's a cowpat on fire.
What?
Okay. That's another maths puzzle, and you just know the answer to that one already as well. That's very boring. Do you want to roll me again?
99.
My goodness. As you peer through, it's a very dark room. You just can't see.
Yeah, I'll just light up one of my hands again.
You see a room full of various keys. They hang on pegs, they pile on the floor, there is thread woven across the room with keys suspended from it. They're blue-tacked, fantasy blue-tack, to the walls. They dangle on hooks from the ceiling. There are lots in a pile in the middle of the room. On the other side of the room, there is a door. It's a cute door. It's sort of painted very pastel pink and has little white curlicues, and very, very polished stained glass window. And at the side of and in front of the door, there is a mat that reads, "Bless this mess." Would you like to enter?
Nice. If I try the door, is it locked?
The door's on the other side of the room. Have you entered?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I will enter the room of keys.
You will enter the room of keys. If you wade your way through the blessed mess and try the door handle, roll me. No, it's locked.
Seems reasonable. Can I see any similarly cutesy keys? Maybe looking for some with a heart-shaped end, nice little ribbon tied on them, some key tag with an inspirational quote on.
I don't know, can you? How are you going to look for this key?
If I just have a quick glance around the room, do I see anything?
There is a jar on a very beribboned dresser that seems quite pastel.
Yeah, I'll have a look in there. Why not?
There are lots of keys.
Lots of them.
Yeah, there's about 16 keys.
16. I'm not going to try 16 keys.
You could.
I could. But I hear that talking is a free action.
Really? Okay. Wimp. We shall. Hello, Joe. You're not.
Hello.
I also wouldn't want to spend a very long time looking in an incredibly pastel room for a key. Nope, I was about to give you another dungeon. I should give you a question.
Yeah, please don't.
Would you like a silly one? Or, like Who Watched the Watchman, or a very serious one, like what is your favourite snack?
We've had a couple of silly ones, so let's go for serious again.
Oh, we're going for profound. Well, the dice have obeyed, which is, how much do you like to bring real-world experiences into your game?
I feel like it's something I think about a lot more as a DM than I do as a player. I guess as a DM, I'm a lot more focused on, the story I'm telling, the message I'm bringing to the players through the game in general. And I want to make sure that that's something that, while it doesn't always have to be a, massively positive or, cheerful one, it's something that I at least engage with. And if challenged on it, would be like, actually, that's a story I am interested in telling. I think I guess a similar thing applies to characters, but probably less so. Like, I'm never interested in playing somebody who is just evil for the sake of it and has no redemptive qualities. I mean, obviously exaggerating. I imagine a lot of people aren't it.
Your real life experience of being an evil person.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, absolutely. So
okay,
again, I'm not.
For people missing any subtext here, Joe and I are married. I maybe should have said this earlier. We know each other very well, and I'm very mean to him. I'm not this mean to people I'm not married to. And also, Joe, I think, still enjoys it for the most part. Sorry, please continue.
Again, there are some stories I'm not particularly interested in telling, and some that I am. I think that probably about covers it. I guess all of my characters probably have some aspect of me to draw on, because, it's pretty difficult to make a character without.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a thing that accidentally or on purpose all your characters have? The one that keeps coming up is all of Ed's characters are orphans. He doesn't do it on purpose. They all are. Or all of mine, whether shy or quiet or noisy, all at some point open their big fat mouth and get themselves into trouble. Do you have that kind of thing?
I remember having a think about this when we were talking about this a while ago. None of my characters are orphans. All of them have very happy, alive parents.
What? How?
I'm aware that's completely breaking the D&D archetype, but I have never played an orphan character.
Does that mean no tragic backgrounds if they're all alive and happy?
Some of them have tragic backgrounds, but
not involving dead sad parents.
Not involving dead sad parents or family. Yeah.
Wow. I think you might be the only person in the world who's played more than one D&D character where this is true. Chat, if you've ever heard of anyone else as weird as Joe, please do mention. I'm worried. That's fascinating. Is there a reason for that, do you think? Or
yeah. Again, I think it's I'm not interested in telling a story about someone whose parents have died.
That's really, really fair. And I guess as a player, it's just working out the story you want to tell. And then, like you say, as a DM, it's working out the story you want to tell and making the choices that you can stand by, but then also pulling in all your players, finding out the stories they do and don't want to tell and making sure they're not treading on anyone else's toes.
Yeah, it's one of the things Ali is doing spectacularly well in the game at the moment, of finding ways for, all of our characters' different stories and reasons for being on the ship to weave together and interact in fun ways without, bringing two into, completely unresolvable conflict. And again, it's one of the, I think one of the joys as being a DM is getting to, take what your players are giving and finding fun ways of weaving them into the stories you're telling, of bringing something that, taking it in a direction that isn't necessarily what they were expecting, that gives them some fun and surprise there, as well as providing some for the rest of the players. It's cool.
Yeah, I think you're so right. You see lots of very silly Twitter discourse about how you can't possibly run a scary or a good campaign if you do a session 0 and you have lines and veils and safety tools because horror. I mean, I respect that opinion so much, can't you tell? But I think you're absolutely right. If you are being aware of what everyone finds fun and the stories they want to tell and the stories they really don't, then you can still create an incredible surprise for them. You're not going, cool, here is exactly where we're going in a campaign, but you're doing it while everyone's jump scares are entirely happily in Fantasyland and you're not giving anyone nightmares.
I should clarify for the benefit of Ali or anyone else who's DMing me, I have no problem with other players being orphans or indeed other characters being orphans. I definitely cannot claim that every NPC I've ever played as a DM has had happy alive parents. Yeah, just for characters that I'm playing myself and investing a lot of emotion in. Yeah.
Fair. Though I'm now assuming that you have an enormous folder of NPCs. Lots of them have no information whatsoever.
Just the names of their parents.
Their parents are alive, happy, well, and shoemakers. it's in the
Let's just start doing that. It'd be a fun aspect.
I would enjoy that. What sort of time are we on? You may not know this, but I take my timekeeping quite seriously.
Oh, do you? Interesting.
We have time for a moderate-sized question or a very speedy dungeon. Do you have a preference?
Moderate-sized question.
Moderate.
We've done enough dungeon delving.
Have we, though?
Maybe not.
I don't know. I haven't left you, dangling upside down with your trousers on your head yet. That is all the way down here. I'm rolling badly. That's the question I've just asked you about the accidental character tropes.
Nice.
Let's roll again and come over here. Ooh, I like this question. This is a good one to finish with. Joe, what is something about your non-D&D life that might surprise us? Maybe not me. I maybe have a head start on that one.
Yeah, that feels
me, I think
pretty reasonable.
Been talking as a free action.
Well, actually,
peels off the skin suit to reveal the lizard underneath.
No, that's you. You were definitely the cold-blooded one in this relationship.
That is true.
Yeah. Yeah, one of us needs to have some circulation.
I feel called out.
I'm very sorry.
No, you're fine.
I ride a unicycle. That will probably surprise some people. Obviously not you. I'm very sorry.
That's right. Why do you ride a unicycle? For how long have you ridden a unicycle? Have you ridden your unicycle in particularly interesting places?
I started riding when I was about 12. A friend taught me how to juggle, and I was at a circus training place to learn some more of that, and they had unicycles. And yeah, I spent a lot of time falling off one, and then eventually got the hang of it. It was a lot of fun.
You can juggle on a unicycle.
It does mean I can juggle on a unicycle. Yep. But yes, I now, as well as occasionally juggling on a unicycle to work and for long cycle rides at the weekend, because it's fun.
You do. True story. When I started dating Joe, a friend who had known Joe individually to me at university, when I said, and you remember Joe, that Joe, we're going out, it's going well. They went, Unicycle Joe! Oh my goodness, so Unicycle Joe. And Joe, I will answer for you if you won't. Where is the coolest place you've unicycled to?
I have unicycled from Land's End to John O'Groats when I was a teenager. It was fun.
Yes, sorry, I will stop bragging about how great my husband is, because nobody wants to see that, and instead, we will. You are inexplicably falling again, Wesley.
What's with the falling?
The Fae just doesn't like you very much.
Reasonable.
You insulted her, not boat. And then you land back with a splat because of the cowpat, not because of you broken lots of bones, in her foyer that inexplicably has a cowpat.
Really?
No, I suppose that was a little crass. She waves a hand and any vestiges of it do disappear.
Thank you.
But you'll never know where the key was.
I think I'll survive.
Yes, you are going to forget all of this in a few seconds, so...
Oh, I'll definitely survive then. Great.
Yeah, it's less of a ha-ha-ha-ha than I was anticipating. Disappointing.
Yeah, you haven't done well there.
I could just keep you here in the room with the keys and just make you look for it for a very long time, I don't have to obey the 60-minute time limit.
You could, but I feel like you'd get bored with that.
Not as quickly as you would.
Maybe. But if you send me back, I'd have some more fun adventures, which I'm sure you'd enjoy watching more than you'd enjoy watching me hunt for keys.
I don't know. Can you promise to, make a fool of yourself and ideally put yourself in some mortal peril while you're out there?
Doesn't seem entirely out of the question based on how things are going at the moment.
So your boat's not so good after all then, if there's some mortal peril on it.
It's a little bit full of slime creatures.
Oh, I feel better. Okay then, off you pop. And Wesley, you head out through the Fae's open archway of her foyer, back into the definitely fine situation in A Distorted Revelation.
Absolutely.
We all have to find out what happens on Monday.
But we know the ship's not going to sink.
It's unsinkable. Is there a string quartet?
Not yet.
Oh, then it might
We shall
actually
see.
be fine.
Maybe.
That is very sadly, although maybe fortunately for anyone who's just watched a married couple chat for an hour, all we have time for. Thank you once again for joining us for Talking is a Free Action. You will find us here every Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. GMT, either with Talking is a Free Action, where we pull in our unsuspecting guests and weave them through our torturous labyrinths of knowledge, or where we have Talk Together, which is our slightly more normal interview chat show and post-show roundups and all that kind of thing. That's on Fridays. Mondays and Tuesdays, 6 to 9 p.m, we stream our actual D&D games, where you can follow the adventures of people just like Wesley. Specifically, just like Wesley, this coming Monday and the Monday after will be parts 3 and 4 of Ali's very brilliant A Distorted Revelation and boats, unsinkable boats. And on Tuesdays, we have our ongoing campaign, beautifully DM'd by Chris, Fracture, which, I think is quite fun, but I am slightly biased. All of this streams at twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg. VODs are available immediately after the stream to catch up, or you can find all of our content on YouTube just a few days later. Don't forget, you can find us as a podcast as well. And finally, many thanks once again to our beautiful D20 Club on Patreon. If you'd like to support us, you can do so from as little as one of your local currencies per month. And a huge thank you to all of our sponsors and supporters. Joseph, it's been a pleasure. I have no idea when I will see you again. You are just through that wall. It's tragic. But thank you so much for coming on and being subjected to gentle bullying by your loving wife. I look forward to seeing how the campaign progresses. Good night.